Alright, here we are. Let's make sure we're going. Alright. This is a Game with Warframe Breakdown, where we break down Warframe so you can be broken on Warframe. So you may have noticed that as you guys were going throughout, we have these new nodes here. We have Navigation and Dark Refractor. When we go into the Dark Refractor, we come here and we go to the Perita, and we have 3 different mission types. We have the Vanguard, the Dactylus, and the Hunhullus. And then we have these focus schools that we can select from the bottom of the menu. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about the mods that we have. While you're completing those missions, you'll have come across these new mods. They have any mods. And if we go to them, we should be able to see these new mods that we have here. This one is set underneath a unique set of mods, and you can see that they have any. Well, if they can go on anything, you should be able to put them on anything, right? It's not quite what they're talking about. So you're going to collect those, and you're going to collect the new arcanes, and they are for a specific set of weapons inside of Warframe. So in order to be able to use those mods, we need to go and get some items, and we need to make sure that we get the set of items. When we were going through the missions, you'll remember that you picked up, in these 3 missions, you picked up some of these items. The very first mission here on the Hunhullus, you'll come across the giant Hunhullus boss, and the Dactylus, you'll come across the Dactylus boss, and in the Vanguard, you come across the Warframe Vanguards, and each one of them drop a piece to these parts. We'll go to the Sanctum Atomica. Those parts you then are going to combine, and you're going to give to Wisp in the Sanctum Atomica. So we'll go there now, and we'll show you where to get to Wisp. So here we're in the Sanctum Atomica, and you're going to come across, there's this new kind of little portal thing over here, and we're just going to go up into it, and we're going to go talk to Wisp, so that we can use our mods and arcanes. It's in the La Catedral, and here we have Maria, aka Wisp, and so we'll talk to Maria, and she's going to start telling us a whole bunch of things, and we're going to go ahead and retrieve. Now there are these 5 weapons. Now at first you can think that these are weapons that you can equip into your weapons. These don't equip normally. The way these weapons equip is they're specific to your Tenno, and they are specific to the schools that you're using. So the last one that I have here to acquire is the Niduri, so we'll go ahead and we'll get that one here, and we're just going to purchase it from her. And we purchased those from those pieces that had dropped in those 3 missions. Now each boss dropped a particular one of the pieces. Now if you're doing it in Still Path though, if you are killing the Prime Warframes that come after you, they will also drop additional pieces. So after you select it to actually grab it, we're going to come across here, it's going to have this little cutscene, and it's going to show Leon pulling it from the void to then ultimately kind of sort of give to us. And quite honestly, I don't know what happens after you collect all 5, so this could be something new entirely. Okay. Okay. Here we'll go ahead and we'll look here. Now, that's great and all. That, that's how you know how to get the parts because you do the missions, and then we come here, and we know that you can get the weapon here. There's another place where you can get those resources here. You can get the Lyric Bridges. So the Lyric Bridge, this is going to come from the Hunhullus, and then if you have there are the other pieces here. When we go back and we'll look at these guys. The Ren Hypercore, that's going to come from the Dactylus when you beat the Dactylus at the end of the mission. And then we have the Ascarius Prime. These are going to drop from the Prime Vanguard at the end. Now, any one of these resources can drop from any one of the Prime Warframes when they're coming after you in Still Path, and that is exclusive only to Still Path. When you play the normal variant missions and the Prime Warframes come in and you kill the regular Prime Warframes, they won't drop any of these. They'll drop none of them. So you can only do, in order to get an additional buff of getting these 3 items, is also getting it from from doing it on Still Path. It's kind of the buff and benefit to doing it on Still Path versus your normal missions. Okay, so we got our Prime weapon, but this doesn't explain how we get our mods and arcanes to work. Well, it's quite simple. They only can go on those items. So we're going to go ahead and go back. And we're going to go back to our Tenno schools, and we're going to go back to our weapons, and we're going to go back to our arsenal. So now we're back inside of the Orbiter. And we're going to go ahead and we'll look here. Now, that's great and all. That, we'll go ahead and we'll get the weapon here. But this doesn't explain how we get our mods and arcanes to work. Well, it's quite simple. They only can go on those items. So we're going to go ahead and go back. And we're going to go back to our weapons, and we're going to go back to our arsenal. So now we're back inside of the we're going to go back here to our arsenal. And as you can see, I have this Narmon. Now, when I'm running Narmon, you can only run the sword. Literally, the weapons are attached to the school that you're running. So, here's the schools that we have. I'm going to go ahead, since the new one that I got was the Vazarin. We're going to go to the Vazarin, and now we have... This is how you're going to upgrade that weapon. This is one of the many ways to upgrade the weapon. So, we have the Vazarin. I just got the staff, so now we have the Vazarin here. I'm going to go to here, and there's an additional portion of this tree. And I'm just going to go ahead and start unlocking them. So we're going to unlock that one, we'll unlock that one, we'll unlock that one, we'll unlock that one. Obviously, you're going to want to unlock all of them, because the more you unlock of this, the more your weapons deal damage. And if you notice that it is costing also the additional resources there that we picked up from those 3 missions. So even after you acquire the weapon of 150 of each resource, you still got to come in here and you still got to grind out those parts in order to be able to even upgrade the school. So as you can see, I don't have any more of the scariest primes because I just used them all. I do have more of the lyric bridges, so we'll just upgrade that guy again. We'll upgrade that one to max. I ran out of Ren hyper cores, so I can't upgrade this one any further. I don't have any more lyric bridges, and I don't have any more scariest primes. But you notice that each one of them also costs focus as well. So this upgrades that weapon. But now it's not exactly equipped either, because now we got to also equip it to our Tenno. So you got to kind of like equip this in like 3 different places. So we'll go back, we'll say yes, we wanted all that. We'll go back, and then we're going to go ahead and, well, let's go ahead and change our school. So we're going to change it to Vazarin, so now our Vazarin is active. Now Vazarin should be active. Now we have this new button here called Upgrade. We'll go ahead and upgrade it here. And then should pull it up here. Lo and behold, there we are. I believe there is another, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at most going to be 5 slots that you can pick from to put your mods on, and you can have the arcane slot in the center. We'll go ahead and we'll just swap this out here. I've noticed that when I've been playing, I've really liked things that kind of sort of buff the Warframe over the Tenno, because honestly, let's face it, the Tenno weapons, they don't necessarily do a whole lot of damage against normal enemies. Usually when you're using a Tenno, you're trying to kill a boss. So if you are like trying to hunt an Eidolon, this one's going to be really great, because that will help you kill Eidolons. But I mean, Eidolons can still be like one-shot by other means, because they can stack with the Warframe and stuff. So oftentimes I try to find the mods that are going to help me out, either survive as the operator inside of normal missions or be able to do additional things. So let's see, this one is a 12% tower on strike initial charge plus 2% for each unique bonus. So we'll go ahead and equip that one. We'll go ahead and let's see, that's the maximum void sling distance. I'm not terribly fond of that one, just because you already go very far, and with how maxed out mine are, like I'll go super far. There's a 6% jump increase multi-shot. That one's pretty good because after using a void mode, the next amp attack does 3 times. That's really good for bosses. Let's see, that's void efficiency. That helps you open up crates. We're not really worried about that. I've heard people really liking the sprint speed. And then I could have sworn there was void sling efficiency. That's amp stanish chance, knockdown, preventing. That's while you're in the town, you can prevent the knockdown. I've kind of sort of liked that one in the past. Let's see. Then there is the, there it is. That's the one I was looking for, the operator health. I've kind of also sort of like grown to be fond of the Unairu ones. Let's see, let's do, where is it? Minus 60% status. That's got the knockdown. Let's see. And that's just maximum void energy, sling distance. Let's go with, yeah, we will go with that one just for the void attack. Then we got the arcane slot. So this is your arcane menu, and these are exclusive for your artifact arcanes. They're just like normal, 21 in order to get them all the way maxed out. I got 38 of this one. If I wanted to, I could pull it up over here. We can go all the way down there, and we just hit upgrade, just kind of like we would with normal arcanes. I like to run this one on Operator and Talon Strike Kill, which you oftentimes kill them a lot. You get 2.4% heat damage just on top of your secondary weapon for the duration of the entirety mission. So typically I've run this one. I've also seen people liking the Talon Strike Initial Charge. This one's status chance for all weapons and warframes, and enemies hit with a Talon Strike up to 300% buff lasts for 30 seconds. I haven't really liked this one because even though it's got the 18% Talon Strike initial charge, which kind of sort of helps you like get up there so that you can activate the Talon Strike a little bit faster, I haven't necessarily liked the ones that are like 30-second buffs because it's usually lasted me longer to try to get to the Talon Strike max charge for a while we're in the mission. So I haven't sort of liked the ones that like where they're just a timer after using the Talon Strike and it's only 30 seconds. Sometimes like you can't even get to like the orb to even get the energy strike charge until like you're later into the game or later into the mission. So I've kind of sort of like this indefinite like 2.4% heat damage, and so typically I'll just run this one. Let's see. Oh, that was mod big fig B. Let's see if we can't just swap that. There we go. Now everything's swapped. Perfect. So we'll just take that out. And I'm not terribly fond of running this one. I've been really liking the Inaru, partly because I'm running a kind of more melee-based Warframe. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to to Naramon. So we'll switch back to Naramon. Naramon is the sword one, which I have thoroughly liked, just because it has such a crazy buff to melee weapons when you actually do hit a whole bunch of enemies. I have also liked the Matarai with the hammer because it makes that pulse that goes across, and it's like Matarai, Naramon are really good for like killing all the enemies, just like as a mob kill. So also makes it really good for when you're going up against the Vanguard. But I've also noticed that Zeneric, because that is the beam, that is the Grimoire one where you pull out the book and you're shooting the laser beam. The Zeneric one has been really good for just targeting the bosses directly and then killing the bosses on the site. So I'm going to run the Naramon one for this. I am going to run Nyx because I do love my Nyx. And we'll just go ahead and we'll just run a mission so that there are a few things. So there's a couple ways to actually I'm going to check out one more thing since I'm kind of curious. Because I did notice this while I was in the Atomica Sanctum. I'm not entirely certain how many people noticed this, but this kind of sort of was weird to me when I noticed that you could access the Dark Refractory from the menu, from like your orbiter. Because even though they've created shortcuts in the past, it hasn't been quite a shortcut like this. And so I was thinking, typically, especially with the Dark Refractory, should be down here in the Sanctum Atomica, because this is like kind of where the entire quest was at with the old piece. So you would have thought that you'd be able to find the Dark Refractory down here somewhere. I noticed that if we go down these set of steps here, which isn't common, most people don't go through. When they did release like the update and had the Sanctum Atomica, they just had a door at the end that you couldn't go through. But what I did notice, which they did allow, is you can actually enter down here. And they allowed you to walk around and enter in here on the last patch, because before the door would open, but you wouldn't be able to enter. And lo and behold, we have a Dark Refractory. Now, it is kind of weird to me that I can't access that mission node and stuff from right here. Like, it doesn't actually let you go into the Dark Refractory and, like, touch it or anything. But we do have Lotus here, and Lotus does look at you. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at you right now. But we have this, and then we have this other door on the other side. So it leads me to believe that they're going to be doing more things with the Dark Refractory, that we're going to be entering in and doing stuff. And perhaps this doorway is, like, going to be to more missions, I would imagine. So like we'd activate the mission here and then we'd go through that door. So that's how I'm imagining the future is going to turn into. But there's the Dark Refractory actually in the Sanctum Atomica. It was locked. Like I said, on the day one it was actually locked and you couldn't enter, but we do have that now. And so we have that here, and of course we have the La Cathedral. If you are wondering, also in here you have Leon. Leon, he won't talk to you unless you've been using the Kim system. So we have Mary, we have Leon, and then we have over here Roath. Roath is the Devil of Tau. He's probably like the most useful. Most people, there's a reason why most people are crowded around here. It's because he's got all the actual items that are useful. So he's got the Warframe parts and stuff, and he's got like the backgrounds if you cared for all that. This is also where you're going to exchange for your marks of valence. Let's see. I think there was this. This is what I wanted. We wanted to grab that real quick while we were in here. And then, for kicks and giggles, I guess we should probably grab a couple of these. Why not? Nope, I don't want to purchase the blueprint. I have way too many of them. I just want the actual lens. And I probably do need to grab more of this Ineric, to be honest. And I like it here because these are just greater lenses that you can just straight up and buy, so pretty cool that way. We will go ahead and spend the rest on these arcane energizers, because that is probably one of the best arcanes you can get. And they're really easy to get while we have events open like this. This event is planning on going away, so like if you don't have these arcanes, like this is like the time to get all these arcanes. I do have like one of each that's already maxed out for myself. These are also like cool skins that you can throw on that are alternate, got some cosmetics. If your clan has an uploaded sigil, this is like where you're going to get your clan sigil. These are exclusive weapons to the event, so you'll want to grab these as well. I think I already have a whole, well, I used to have a whole bunch of these, but I don't know. So you can also get the Creo Signas and their costume, of course, a couple cosmetics and stuff. You do have these new Honorias. If you're kind of curious on how to equip the Honorias, they are equipped from your profile. So once you collect them from them, you go here, you're going to go up to your profile here, show profile. And then if you look in the bottom right corner, you can see exchange Honoria. So we'll go ahead and do this. One of the ones that I've really enjoyed, which I feel like anybody who went into this update and just sold all of their Harrow's chassis kind of sort of might have sort of like shot themselves in the foot. Because there's literally, where is it? The power of Harrow compels you. Where is it? It's it's over here. Early lunch for that one I thought was great. Hivekin, legendary captain, matter vanguard, from on that far shore forlorn. I love that one. That one's pretty cool. Let's see. The sworn sister, God above them all, which is great and terrible. The Mad King, the maniac of Deimos. Oh, here it is. The power of Harrow compels thee. You do have to have like 500 Harrow chassis and stuff like that, but you can do that. There we go. The power of Harrow compels thee. So great. What Leon has available, and this is kind of sort of like disappointing because like he doesn't talk to you forever, so you would hope that he'd have something great. You come in here, it's just cosmetics. Literally, like, I mean, if I wanted to buy, oh, I guess I don't have this one, so I'll go ahead and just buy myself that one. For no reason other than to get it. But they're just like customizations that you can throw in. You can get the La Cathédrale scene by, Tenvoka. If you wanted the Captura scene. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave. Now, a lot of people were saying that they were noticing that they were able to run a school like Madurai or something, but they still were able to use the Grimoire. So we're going to kind of sort of lay that to rest. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my Tenno school over to the Zeneric. So now I'm running Zeneric, which means Zeneric is the Grimoire. So like when we go here, it's the Lorac Tauron Strike, which Lorac is your Grimoire Tenno weapon. So I have that one equipped, and I have it here. You can see it's in my arsenal equipped. Now, the difference in here is this is not really for the Dark Refractory. This is for any mission outside of the Dark Refractory. So in any other mission, I will be using the Grimoire, which I don't typically like to use, but it's there. So if you have it equipped there, that's not the same thing as having it equipped in the Dark Refractory. So now we'll go to the Dark Refractory here, and we're going to go to the Rebellion, and I'm going to switch it to the Naramon. As you can see, it immediately switches it in my inventory over here off to the left. So even though I did in my arsenal and I did the Zeneric, as you can see, it just switched right there. And when I go in and I run this mission, you're going to see that it's still going to be running the Naramon. So this is like an independent selection from your arsenal. So if it is different here versus in your arsenal, you are going to be running that one, not the one in your arsenal. So here we are, and I am going to be running in for kicks and giggles. Why not? So now these missions, they are 12 minutes long, which means you are going to be in here for only 12 minutes until you hit the boss fight. the boss fight will happen regardless of what you do. We can do as little as we want here, we can do as much as we want in here, but we will only ever be in here for 12 minutes. And the counter has already started. So you can see the counter's in the top left. It is currently set to 11 minutes and 35 seconds. And we'll go like this. And so as we continue throughout this mission, we'll notice that there are things that we can do. So we have free the ally backlist. Now, typically, in order to maximize your rewards in here, you do want to complete the objectives, because the more the objectives that you complete, then the more primed warframes are going to come in and try to kill you, which prime warframes inside a still path, that's going to be the way that we get additional drops of the Iscaria so that we can capitalize our farming. And I really like these jump points that they have inside the mission here. Okay, let's see. We're going to jump across that ravine. Inside of this, as we complete more missions, it's like every 2 that you'll have like increased like an initiative. Well, the more initiatives you increase, depending on the school that you pick, will determine the additional buff that you get. Since I picked Naramon, I'm going to end up getting a 25% critical damage buff, and I'm going to get a 25% critical chance buff to my melee, which is kind of sort of what we want, because we do want to be, since we are primarily melee based, we want to be getting the maximum on buff, which that's going to cause us to deal the most amount of damage to the boss fights at the end. We're going to try to do this to as many of these as possible. Let's see, we got our, this one we're trying to refill these guns, so we'll refill them. Let's see, we got to replenish 3 of them for this task. I want to say it's about like every other one that you complete is when you get like an initiative completed. So here we are, we got that one. And yes, just because it is a heck of a lot faster. We will be using those all over the place since we are slow nicks. But powerful nicks, slow but powerful, and that's kind of sort of what we want. Kind of like it's kind of awkward because you think melee is like fast, you gotta move fast and stuff like that, but we are running nicks. We are slow, but melee. Oh, let's see. Am I going the right way? That is the right way. So we'll go like that so we can launch ourselves off to the right there, which is just awesome. And somehow we still ended up more south than we cared for. Oh, let's see. We want to grab that. If you notice, the moment you collect it inside of this mission, you straight up get like 5,000 affinity for like whatever active school you're currently running, which is kind of nice. Okay. Now we want to activate our Tower on Strike as many times as we possibly can while we're inside the mission. So I'm going to try to get up over here to get around all these guys, since all these guys are the guys we want to kill. And we'll just go ahead and eliminate them all. And that feels so good. Oh, there is the guy that we're trying to kill. Trying to get rid of this thing though first. There we go. Now I'll worry about him. Now I'm at 12.0 multiplier. Let's see. We'll get rid of his. Oh, did he just teleport? Well, let's get rid of him. There we are. Beautiful. I like the Tenokai because that doesn't consume my 12.0 multiplier, so I can just continue smacking these guys around. We time this right, we can get across casualty free. Again, 6 minutes left on the clock while we're trying to kill all these guys and complete the objectives. We are trying to charge now an ally here for this one. So we need to find... Oh, there was a... Let's see if we can't just grab that real quick. Oh, that's 350 meters away. No way that's happening. Okay. Okay, so we got a drop over there. That's 50 meters away. That drop is what's gonna refill our ally there. Looks like it's on the other side. There it is. Yes, we are locking the guys down as we teleport, which is awesome. Man, our combo count went away fast. So we got one more energy that we need to get. Look at that, we just got an initiative gained. Trying to get into the position. Nice, looks like we got our very first bug, a constant energy regen for our guy that we're no longer nearby. Okay, there's not a whole lot of guys here, which that kind of sort of makes me sad. Because I got a tower on strike that I want to use, but there's not a whole lot of guys to use it on. So it looks like we're trying to load turrets again. But it looks like we're also trying to control the area as well. And there are not a whole lot of attackers for this. I was anticipating to be spammed. Of course. Oh, what do we have down here? I've never been down here. Let's see. Oh, look. A crate. I thought that was just a pit of despair. Oh, there's our very first crystal. If you collect 3 of these crystals while you're in mission, you will also get another initiative. So it's kind of sort of good to try to kind of find them. So you can like literally just scour the map and just try to find those, and it will just give you initiative as well. As the one mission I've been in where we got the most, we almost got 4 initiatives. And we didn't have any enemies. We had to come across a weird bug. We didn't have any enemies that spawned in, but we did come across all of those. Those were all still in the mission, so we still got our initiatives that way. even though we didn't actually fight anybody or complete any objectives. As good as any other. Oh shoot, that's not me capturing anything. We got 59 seconds on the clock before we end up going to the boss. Probably not going to complete this one, but kind of nice that we did end up getting another guy that's on. Oh, maybe we'll get another talent strike? Maybe? Come on, last one final strike. Yeah, let's go. We're going into that with an 8.0 multiplier. Let's go. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm the little white chick. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Nice. Oh. Getting double teamed here. Now all 5 of them... Oh, all 5 of them don't come down if you're just by yourself. Okay, interesting. Like if you have like a full squad, like then like all 5 of them come down and they'll all 5 attack you when you're playing on public. So as you can see, we got 16 of the Carius. We do got some 10 marks of valence, which will go away because that's only an event item. And then we got the arcanes and we got the melees there, or the arcanes and the mods there. So yeah, it's that simple. As you can see, because I went into the mission and I changed it there, it also changed it in my arsenal. So it doesn't let you run it 2 different schools. So if you ever see anybody say like, oh, I was able to run the Grimoire World, I was in Naru, like whatever, didn't really happen because the game just switched it. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts.